Mom, come quick, look! It's a band that's blending together the sound of SLINT with King Crimson! This is gonna be so patrician! It's gonna look so good on my freaking Topsters! I love it! I cannot wait to give this a good score and rate your music because it's so experimental and I love looking to... Yeah! This is gonna be the album of the decade, I already know it. Let's go ahead and start by taking a look at the album cover. Absolutely fucking brilliant. This is genius. You see what they did here is they purposely used an album cover that looks bad. It looks like a very corporate photo with like a corporate font and everything, but this is actually experimental music that's like way more dissonant and way crazier and wackier than your average rock album. So we're like saying, hey, look at us being ironic with a very corporate photo, but you listen to the music and we're not corporate at all. Never mind the fact that we've gotten tons of press, even though we've only released 2 songs. There's nothing suspicious about that. Trust us, we're authentic and we're making fun of the corporate photo. We are experimental, folks. So the album opens with like an instrumental track that's basically just like white, rich kids from the UK playing jazz music, which is like the pinnacle of experimental music. It's a friggin' instrumental track, for God's sakes. Only true experimental bands use instrumental tracks. Don't worry, you worked really hard. You listened to a full instrumental track, which is what real music listeners do. We don't need vocals. But don't you worry, when we finally get the vocals, it's such an epic payoff, because the vocalist, he sounds like so like traumatized and so fucked up with everything he's saying. It's like, I went to the store and I saw there was Kellogg's, and why am I shivering and saying all these lyrics that are so cryptic and don't mean anything, and I cannot stop shivering at every single thing I say. It's so emotional and so powerful, and then the saxophone comes in halfway through the song with like a dissonant interval that's like, it's like, yes, the dissonant is a sign of craziness. This vocalist is tortured. He's awesome, and the saxophone proves it. And then halfway through the song will change. It started with like a dissonant little slinty chord, and then all of a sudden halfway through, maybe the song will do like a little fun little bass line that's a little dancey, and then the synths will be playing the krautrocky tones, and it'll evolve, and then finally the vocals will go even crazier, and the saxophones and strings will come in, and it's so beautiful, and we do this 5 times, and that's the whole album. You know what I like about this album is like, most experimental rock albums, when you listen to it, it's like, it's like so dissonant and it's like annoying. Well, this record, it's actually like just so immediately obvious that this is a talented band that like, instead of like the normal experimental record where you have to like re-listen to it to figure out if it's good or not and then it grows on you, this record's the opposite. It's just very bluntly a talented band doing these patrician cliches which are epic, and the more you re-listen to it, there's actually not much to uncover and discover about this record because it's all just so bluntly given to you. The build-ups and the song structures are very, very predictably epic, and it's just a great thing. So at the end of the day, I think it's safe to say that rich, white, music school college students from the UK are the pinnacle of experimental rock, and it checks all my checks for what makes a good experimental record, which is the slinty guitars, and the saxophones, and the strings, and the epic build-ups, and the crazy vocalist who sounds like he's talking like this the entire record, and it's like, oh my god, I am so traumatized, even though my lyrics are about literally fucking nothing, but I will maybe occasionally put a little lyric about emotion and sex in there to keep you oh, maybe behind all this there's some real emotion going in there, and it's not just all a bunch of fucking hitting the check marks of what's supposed to be patrician and what's supposed to get 5 stars on Rate Your Music. Nope, this is actually really emotional, I promise, and this is real authentic music. There's literally no experimental rock besides Black Midi and Black Country New Road, and honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is a 7.5 because I feel exactly the same way about Black Midi's album Schlagenheim, which I gave a 7.5. It's a good record. It does literally nothing new. It's not supposed to do anything new. It's an entry level, very, basically how can we sell as much records as possible under the guise of experimental rock, which is exactly what experimental rock is supposed to be. Great job, Black Country New Road, you are so epic. A tip for you, and I'm gonna go ahead and log on to Rate Your Music right now and give it a 5. Thanks for watching. Please give me like, comment, subscribe if you also love experimental rock music like me. Punk Revolution, now my channel is growing very fast because of you. Thank you so much, Punk Revolution now.